How do you know that Wonder Woman has tracked mud into the house?
Oh man, I don't know.
You see her Diana prints. It's the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. Thank you for stopping by Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. It's great to have you here tonight. It's always great to hang again with my good friend and my co-host. He is the Royal of Foils. Let's find out what's going on in his kingdom. Hello to Signature King. What up, Signature King?
Hello. So
how are you?
I'm good. Finally, it stopped raining. So it's been raining here for like 2 weeks, it feels like.
Yeah, it's been raining here a lot as well.
It's a small break, supposed to rain again this week. So
poor Beyonce had to delay the start of her Cowboy Carter show in Chicago.
I'm sure both people that went were very devastated.
You're so mean. You have a good week?
Yeah. Made it to the old LCS here.
Oh, okay.
So nothing really extreme, but getting closer to that history of the DC universe. That one I'm kind of excited for.
I pre-ordered the Dan Mora variant for that this weekend.
I pre-ordered a couple variants.
Cool.
Up to 3. Issue 3 of 4 was available to pre-order. So
okay, cool. I haven't seen the covers for anything besides issue 1, so I don't know if those have been revealed, but I'll definitely go take a look tonight.
Yeah, they're on. Cool. My LCS uses Comic Hub, so I can see all the covers.
Cool.
They look really cool.
Cool, awesome. I'll say real quickly hello to some folks that are in the chat with us, starting out with John's Comics with Kids. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Thanks for stopping by. And then this critter's hanging around with us tonight, not only in the chat, but he's our special guest tonight. So, Signature King, I come up with a pretty good introduction for him if you're ready for this, okay?
I'm very curious.
Taking a break from his jump roping to talk to a magical lasso, Dan of D. Piercy's Comics. How you doing, Dan?
I'm good. Hello, everyone.
Oh, he's got his great pint ready, too.
Oh, and his Wonder Woman cup.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Love it. Well, it's great to have you back on. You've been on the show a few times before. 4. Fantastic. That's just fantastic. See what I did there? Our Marvel fans, or I should say our strictly DC fans, have no idea what I'm talking about. So it's great to have you back.
I remember when Death Metal came out, and I love Death Metal. So like I made these guys let me be on the show, and they all were very lukewarm to disliking it. So I was like, oh my God, I loved it. What's wrong with you guys? But yeah.
I have some Death Metal. I enjoy that too.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of the variant covers. I picked up a lot of covers for that.
And I think you have vinyl Death Metal.
I do. So, I've got. In fact, it's funny you say that. It's literally right here. I have it on vinyl.
Nice.
That is killer. I'm jealous.
Someday when who is it? Who did this art? What the heck's his name? I don't remember. When they come back into town, Greg Capullo, dog. Yeah. I'm gonna have him sign it somewhere.
Nice.
I think it'd be pretty cool. It is a really unique piece. In fact, they made a second one, and I have both of them.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. So we picked Dan specifically tonight because we had to have some type of a Wonder Woman fan on the show, right?
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit more about tonight's retro review, but how did you become a Wonder Woman fan, and were you or are you familiar with the classic Lynda Carter TV series?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little kid when Wonder Woman 77 was on, and I mean, it blew my mind. And so, I mean, I was a kid of the 70s, mostly Spider-Man and Marvel. Marvel comics in the 70s were freaking awesome. But when, I stopped collecting around my teenage years, but when I picked it back up in my 20s, I started picking up Wonder Woman comics. But yeah, I mean, I have vivid memories of Wonder Woman 77 as a kid. I guess I would have been 9. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Seasons 2 and 3 aired on CBS, and they would air Friday nights, and it would be Hulk and then Wonder Woman back to back. And when Wonder Woman got canceled, the Hulk still went on. And in Wonder Woman's place, the TV show that took over was Dukes of Hazzard. And for the longest time as a little kid, I held resentment against the Dukes of Hazzard for taking my Wonder Woman away from me. So.
Yeah. A damn Dukes of Hazzard.
That's right. That General Lee and Boss Hogg and them Duke boys. So, but we'll get into that a little bit later on, talk about our retro review. Right now, it's time to talk about DC Comics news of the week. Signature King, where would you like to start at?
I'm going to talk about what David Zaslav said.
Okay.
So he was talking about the future of DCU, and he said that the future of DC movies stood on 4 pillars. That being Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, of course, the Holy Trinity. So who do you think the 4th character is?
Section 13.
That'd be cool, but no. It is Supergirl.
Supergirl.
He said that those are going to carry the DC universe, which I thought was strange. I mean, I got no issue with it, but we already have a super person in that 4 pillars. So I thought they were going to say like the Flash or Cyborg or Aquaman.
Yeah, Green Lantern or Flash would have been my guess.
Green Lantern, yeah. But Supergirl would be interesting.
Yeah, that is an interesting pick.
Speaking of Supergirl, one thing that they've been talking about a long time is that they're going to get the Supergirl look in the Superman upcoming film. And I don't know if they meant to disclose that as being factual or what, but they did because if you look at the HBO Max, coming soon, Superman is on that list. And when you look at, starring, the young lady, I cannot remember her name. She's listed. The lady who's playing Supergirl is listed as she gets a credit in the movie. So I thought that was pretty fun. So that's kind of like a confirmation that you're going to get to see Supergirl.
Yeah. Hello to Gore, who we're seeing right now, or who is seeing us, I should say, who's in the chat.
Gore Vidal.
Yeah. And I guess since we're talking about the movies, there's a new Superman trailer that just dropped this past week.
Yeah. Nothing really extreme. I mean, they might have shown things at a different angle. We knew the engineer was going to be in the movie, so you saw a few seconds of the engineer. You heard Lex Luthor's voice. You got to see a few extra seconds of Metamorpho. But other than that, really nothing to really write home about. I mean, all the characters that were in the trailer, we already knew were going to be in the movie anyway. So, and I was talking to these guys backstage. I got to give props to DC. They haven't really hammered out the plot in the trailer. They're keeping it pretty secretive. So I love it when movies do that. You really don't understand what's happening. So you got to go see the movie to get any kind of detail. So
I didn't read the article, but I did see a headline that said, test screenings of Superman say the ending will leave you emotional.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. I mean, we'll see. I'm not really an emotional person, so it's probably not going to work for me. Nice try, DC. But yeah, that's exciting. I'm very excited. I'm definitely gonna see this movie. Probably not opening night, but
Dan, will you go opening weekend to see it, or will you wait on it?
I'll go see it as soon as possible. I may even leave work early to see it, or I'll take my nephew,
Nice.
or I'll take my nephew if he wants to go see it opening weekend. But I mean, honestly, it'd be cool to just like leave it at noon on that Friday and see it to a half empty theater. And so real curious what James Gunn is going to do. Of course, Peacemaker was hilarious. So yeah.
Yeah. They kind of tease how they're going to make Peacemaker fit, since it's part of the Zack Snyder verse, and James Gunn said it's also part of his verse. So in the trailer, they kind of teased how that was going to work out. So go back and see it if you haven't yet. But speaking of DC movies, one thing that James Gunn does pretty regularly was talk about updates. And someone asked him about Wonder Woman. They said, do you have any plans or updates on the Wonder Woman franchise? And Gunn actually tweeted back, nothing publicly, but yes, things are going along great. It's very encouraging. And then hashtag Paradise Lost.
Oh, wow.
So that's good to hear.
Interesting.
Yeah, cryptic. It's still on the table. It's confirmed it's still in active development. So I'm excited. So it sounds like Paradise Lost is going to be probably a prequel to whoever the current Wonder Woman is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that. It should be fun. Still waiting on Waller though. I think that'd be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that.
So with the Superman movie this past week, Milkbone launched a promotion because Milkbone and Superman are working together with crypto. And I guess on Milkbone's website, I missed this coming up, and I kind of am upset that I missed this. That they had a limited amount of like a 12-page comic book that Milkbone was selling, which I think is supposed to be available also in select, specially packaged Milkbone dog biscuits, but they sold out instantly at the 1,000 copies that they had of them. I've been looking around trying to find the Milkbone, especially marked. I can't find them. And they have a thing where you can do search your area by your zip code to see what stores have them. Doesn't matter what zip code I put in around the US, it's not showing up anywhere. So I have a feeling it's coming, which would make sense that it would come a little bit closer to the movie than right now. But I guess on eBay, there's some up there already, and they got a nice price tag to go with them too.
Jeez, they were going for $5. Now you're probably not going to get one for. I'm on the Milkbone website, $5. And completely sold out. But eBay, you're probably not going to get it for less than $50.
I heard some places had it listed for $1,000.
$1,000.
I'm not saying people are paying that, but I'm saying that's what they were asking.
Oh, okay. No. You can't get it in stores. It's only through the website. It's exclusive.
So it's not also with dog biscuits?
You're buying the dog biscuits. You're getting.
I see. But that version with the dog biscuits isn't going to be in stores. Oh man.
Because if it goes to your local grocery store, there's going to be some ding dong who's going to be waiting outside with a shopping cart, run in there and throw all the dog biscuits into his cart.
Yeah.
And as he's in line for checkout, he's putting them all up on eBay. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. You're buying the biscuits through.
So the book is available digitally, free for everyone to read. But I guess it's just a printed copy. Is the grail.
Yeah, I missed this too. I had no idea. I would have bought one.
Yeah,
and just donated the milk bones to a dog shelter or a friend who has a dog or something.
Yeah,
crazy. Dang, I would have bought 2 of them.
Yeah.
Shoot.
We
Poor
missed out.
Marketing, Milkbone. Poor marketing.
That's right. So, other DC Comics news. This is kind of big. Let's talk about the Eisner nominees. The 225 Eisner Award nominees have been announced. We'll cover the DC Comics categories. Best Short Story is Spaces by Phil Jimenez, which was published in DC Pride 2024, issue number 1. Best Continuing Series, Detective Comics is a nominee, as is Wonder Woman. Best Limited Series, Alan Scott, The Green Lantern. Best New Series, Absolute Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman are both nominees in that category. Best Archival Collection Project, the DC Comics Style Guide that was done by Standards Manual is a nominee. Best Writer, Tom King is nominated. His work for DC includes Jenny Sparks, The Penguin, and Wonder Woman. Kelly Thompson is nominated. Her work for DC includes Absolute Wonder Woman. Best Penciler Inker or Penciler Inker Team, Nick Dragata for Absolute Batman, and Javier Rodriguez for Zatanna Bring the House Down. Best Cover Artist, Juniba the Boy Wonder, which was a DC. Juniba is the cover artist and the Boy Wonder is the title. That's a DC. Cool. And then Hayden Sherman for Absolute Wonder Woman, as well as Batman Dark Patterns and Superman Ape Role, and Batman the Brave and the Bold is nominated for Best Cover. Best Coloring, Jordi Belair. Work includes Nice House by the Sea for DC. Matthias Lopes for Batman and Robin Year One, and Javier Rodriguez for Zatanna Bring the House Down. Best Lettering, Becca Carey for Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, and Plastic Man No More. And Clayton Cowles, whose work includes for DC Absolute Batman, Batman and Robin Year One, Birds of Prey, Jenny Sparks, and Wonder Woman. So congratulations to all of the Eisner nominees. The award ceremony to be held, I believe that's during SDCC, so towards the end of July is when the winners will be announced.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then I thought I would cover as well some facsimiles that have been announced for the upcoming. Dan, are you a facsimile fan?
It just depends.
Okay, so you'll buy some, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you guys know what the key for this issue that's going to be made into a facsimile is? This is Action Comics number 23. Do you know what the key of this is?
Is that the first Lex Luthor?
It is.
Nice. Dude, that was just a guess.
First Lex Luthor. He didn't even make it on the cover. That facsimile coming out in, let's see the date on that, August 27th. There's the famous cover. Detective Comics 880 is getting a facsimile. I love the Batman logo in Joker's eyes.
That was a nice
Here's one for you. Batman Harley Quinn issue 1 is getting a facsimile with that classic image.
Yeah,
I'm going to pass.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the third one they've done too. So.
Yeah.
August 13th. You see that cover a lot.
August 13th. And there's going to be some Superpowers variants too for some of these. So
very nice.
Yeah. And news-wise, that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
No,
okay.
That was it.
Well, that's pretty good. So
we're getting closer to Superman, so I imagine as we get closer and closer, more news will come out.
Sure.
Maybe some more announcements from new movies. Who knows?
Yeah. So, Tony, if you want to prep the assist, I'll talk about tonight's retro review. Tomorrow night, the Palay Center in New York is going to be honoring the Lynda Carter TV series Wonder Woman for its 50th anniversary. So that inspired us to kind of celebrate along with them. Lynda Carter will be there tomorrow night. And we're going to feature Wonder Woman 77. While there's Batman 66, which are comic book depictions of Adam West and Burt Ward, there is Superman 78, which is the Christopher Reeve Superman. There's also a Lynda Carter version of this, which is Wonder Woman 77. And we picked this. These all started out as digital first stories, and then they were collected into trades. So our first story, Dan's going to review for us tonight, and this is kind of like all based on the Wonder Woman TV show, which didn't use a lot of the DC Comics characters in the actual show. They only used 2 or 3 outside of Steve Trevor in the show, especially when it came to villains. But this is kind of their version of a classic villain reinterpreted Wonder Woman 77 style, as if the show would have had an additional season. So Dan, if you want to kick off our first retro review tonight, go for it.
Yeah. All right. Let me preface this by, like Ryan, you asked me like Monday or Tuesday if I wanted to do this and if I had the book, and I was like, yeah, I have that book. I know I do. And I went through every box. I went through every comic in my collection, and all I have is the first one, and I even lost track of that and this one. So, but oh well. Okay, so this was actually a really cool story. This is Barbara Minerva Cheetah. She's really pissed off at the curator of or her boss of the museum she works at. And well, next slide. Yeah. And then this is the bloke she works for telling her that well, he wants to do a Wonder Woman exhibit, and that's just how it is, how it's going to be. Yeah.
Nice.
And in my notes, I said what a nice render this is. I really liked this rendering of Wonder Woman, Lynda Carter likeness, etc. And so here they're talking, and then he's introducing her to the exhibit, which we see in the next panel. Yep. And we can go another one.
One more? Okay.
Yeah. More talk. Yay, we love you, Wonder Woman. Next. And next. Oh, well, a few pages back, they introduced her to the exhibit, and she's very impressed. She's very blown away. But then we discover these hoodlums, these damn hoodlums. They're robbing the place. They're trying to get away, and Wonder Woman is very aware of what's going on, and so she springs into action and foils the thieves. Yes,
that's pretty cool. She's
got them, and I mean, these are all very. I mean, this is cool art. Nice renderings. It's looking good. So yeah,
this is nice. Who did the artwork on this issue?
Drew Johnson.
Drew Johnson. Okay.
I don't know what else he's done, but I know that's who did it. So okay, so she's captured the thieves. Yes. And I think we go back to Barbara. Well, we're still Wonder Woman's being clever here. You guys are going to jail for a long time. Yes. Yes. All right, and now we see a couple of pages of Barbara Minerva just being pissed off. You know, and eventually she stumbles upon this artifact, which I won't spoil what it is. Yes, here's a security guard. You sure you don't want to go home? No. She's going to hang around for a bit, and then she finds the artifact here. It's a knife. She accidentally cuts herself here. Snicket. Ow. And what happens? I wonder. Oh, yes.
She's getting a mean case of chicken pox. That's what.
Yeah, she's losing her faculties here and transforming into. Oh my goodness! Could it be? Could it be? It's Cheetah! Ah! All right, and that's the end of first issue.
Very good. Yeah, I think there's another one.
Yeah, there's two more.
Yeah. Let's see.
This, if it was the Wonder Woman TV show, is where we would take a commercial break.
Yeah, commercial break. Da. All right. Let me pause.
One thing I loved in that first part too, like they were putting together this Wonder Woman exhibit, and you see like the original Priscilla Rich's cheetah costume in the background is kind of like a little bit of an Easter egg. That was pretty cool. Take it away, Dan.
Okay. So what is interesting about this? Go back to that. Go back to the credits where it lists the artists. Next one. Sorry. Okay, so this is a different artist, Richard Ortiz, and I think you'll notice it starts off a little awkwardly, a little less sophisticated, but it picks up, interestingly enough, as the story goes. So, okay, so they're doing an opening for the Wonder Woman exhibit, and of course, Diana, Wonder Woman, is speaking. So, yeah. Yay, it's Wonder Woman. We're all clapping. We love Wonder Woman. She loves her exhibit. The folks love the exhibit. Isn't she charming? She's funny. She tells jokes. She's beautiful. We love her. All right, but there's Cheetah. You know she's up to something. She's going to do something crazy.
I love that. Can I get your autograph? That would be a signature, right? An authentic Wonder Woman.
Heck yeah. All right. And then Cheetah crashes the party. And see, now you start to notice the art is getting a little bit better. Like Richard Ortiz is finding his rhythm or something, because it started off quite simply, but now it's just something I noticed. So they're jawing back and forth and they're fighting. And okay, she blows darts at the patrons, and that really pisses Wonder Woman off. And that's when she goes full force on Cheetah. More cool fighting panels, and then Cheetah has an ace up on her sleeve. Yes, and she summons powers of the goddess Mothdet. That's how you pronounce it. And then we get an army of cheetah people after this and after that. That's another nice rendering. All right, and that ends issue 2.
Yeah, those are cheetah people. I like how some of these people have cheetah mustaches.
Yeah.
This guy has a cheetah mustache. It's
very 70s.
Yeah, yeah. How authentic. How immersive. Yeah, and that last one, I'm popping it up now. Here we go.
So it's still Richard Ortiz on art duties. So same guy who did the last one. And then Wonder Woman, she doesn't want to hurt these people. She knows, they're not really evil. They're just under this spell that has been cast. I think that is a really cool page right there.
Oh, yeah.
Wonder Woman's getting outside, so she doesn't have to directly hurt people, folks' property. And there she goes flying.
She went to the zoo.
and she summons these wild animals, but then Cheetah is in for a surprise. And again, the art is a lot better as the story continues. But I mean, these animals are quite friendly to Diana. So it's not working out for Barbara, for Cheetah, as she would like.
Is that a common Wonder Woman trait? Does she pacify aggressive animals?
Ha!
She can communicate with animals, yes.
Okay.
That was new. That was new to me, but it definitely worked for the story.
That. Yeah. So. Very neat. I wonder if her and Animal Man get along.
in the TV show, that was brought out a little bit more too, about her ability to communicate with animals too.
Oh, very nice.
So it is sticking kind of with the TV lore.
Okay. I was unaware. That's some cool artwork. Yeah.
More fighting. I don't remember these pages, but
it's an adventure together.
Yeah.
Now, see, that would have been funny if, like,
okay, now I remember. Yeah, she crushes the artifact and then she changes back. And
so, what if Wonder Woman cut herself on the knife? You know what I mean? Like, just a little nick. Now she's the cheetah.
That would be crazy. And that's it. So I mean, that was
okay. I got to call out this last panel here. Okay, so she's taking Cheetah to jail essentially, or wherever. She's leaving the citizens to fend for themselves against the animals in the background.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
you know what I mean? Like,
they look terrified in the back
there.
Yeah. Terrified silhouettes.
I would like to think she communicated with the animals, don't hurt anyone, go back to your cells, go back to the zoo. And
Eat
don't hurt anyone.
Eat them.
Yeah.
And then, spoiler, we see Cheetah in the jail cell.
There's more. I'm sorry. I thought that was it.
Saying she'll be back. Well, I mean, it's just a few pages, and that's basically the genesis of it. Her saying she'll be back.
That's funny. Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, yeah, they put the animals back. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh yeah, there she is in the cells.
And
Oh, but she's got the cat eyes.
yeah,
Because the
Totally.
She
cheetah
must
will
have,
return.
She must have saved like a shard of glass from that knife. And she just stuck it right in her, maybe underneath the first layer of skin. I don't know. Just kind of thinking out loud. Okay, so who's next? Ryan, are you next?
Yep, I'm next. So
and you're issue 10.
yeah, my story, I would say out of the 3 that we're reviewing tonight, feels more like a Wonder Woman 77 episode. It's an original villain that is created for this story, and you can hit into the next panel. So we start out with a news feed, and they're talking on the news about the federal judge has thrown out a case against Position Power Industries, and because essentially what this power plant did is nuked an entire town. And
in Ohio.
Yeah, in Ohio. And watching this is what we'll find out is a man that is involved with the power plant. He's at this seedy type hangout, and he's got his babes with him, and he's offered a drink called the Meltdown, which he thinks is pretty ironic. And he declines on it, and he says, I got to get out of here anyway. And the ladies are a little bit disappointed. I think they were under the belief that they were going to be stirring the spaghetti sauce together, but they're now realizing they're not. So he starts to leave. And as he's leaving, his name is Aiden Roberts. Someone warns him. You see someone's watching him. Someone warns him, that your time is coming. And he turns around to see who it is. And she says, "Who am I? I am vengeance." And we see one hand is full of fire and one hand is full of ice. So next, Wonder Woman is there with Steve Trevor to investigate the scene of what's happened. And they find him, and he literally is half covered in absolute zero ice, and the other half, he's covered in fire. And Wonder Woman's even wondering, how is this possible? And Steve is like, well, I hope that you would know. And she says, well, this is a first for me. I've never even heard of this. And she's wondering if the poor man's been identified. And Steve says, yes, I wouldn't call him poor. It's Aiden Roberts. He's the billionaire CEO of Position Power Industries. And she's like, oh, the nuclear plant operators. And he says, yes. So an entire town was exposed to radioactive fallout. And there were all these lawsuits filed. And, the court just dismissed it. And she's thinking, well, maybe, and more than likely, this has something to do with that. And Steve's like, yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. So the next morning, Miss Diana Prince is getting ready to head into the IADC, where Steve Trevor is ready to pick her up and take her in. He says, I'm here to offer a pretty lady a ride to work. And so they go in, and Steve and Diana end up meeting with a Republican senator from Ohio, Jason Fletcher. And we find out that Steve is now the director, so he's been promoted. And what he's there to say is, Diana says, I'm sure you heard about Aiden Roberts. And he says, yeah, that's so horrible. And she says, is there some type of retaliation against what happened with the power plant? And he kind of says, I don't like the tone that you're going with this. My relationship here is personally professional. I don't have any personal interest in this, even though I'm a senator that voted to help get him cleared from this. And so there's some files that he starts to look over, and that cuts them to a plan where they believe that he could be the next target from this villain. And he finally agrees to let the IADC in. And the night of the party, Diana's there. There's some other IADC undercover agents. Steve is there in his great disco suit, and they're mingling around a little bit. And Diana starts to overhear two men that are having a little bit heated conversation, one with the senator. And Donald Decker, he says, you can call me Dom. And she is, Prince, Federal Agent Prince. So outside there's a man, he's jogging and he's singing, that's the way, I like it. When all of a sudden, boom, and there's fire and there's ice and someone sweeps past him that's looking for vengeance. We cut inside the party again where Diana's checking in with Steve if he's seen anything suspicious, when all of a sudden there's a big boom. And Jason Fletcher is the man that she's after. Her name is Celsia. And she's going to make him feel pain. And when you look at her, There's half fire and half ice, and that's the end of the first half of the story. As we get ready to hit the second part, I'll say hello to White Tiger, Cool, Calm, Collected.
So, do you guys know what band did that? That's the way.
I don't remember the band name, but I know the song.
Casey and the Sunshine Band.
That's right.
I grew up with.
Very cool.
Yeah. So as the second part of our story takes over, we are in the middle of Celsia just literally attacking. And Diana and Steve are trying to clear the path. And Diana is, she is getting the heck out of there because you know what she's going to do. She's got a spin that she needs to perform. So while that's happening off camera, Celsia is attacking Fletcher. And as she goes to fire in that panel, it's the fire in the ice is interrupted by the bracelets of Diana. And she monologues a little bit that how ironic is it that the violent only hate violence when it's turned upon them. So she gets out her lasso. She goes to throw it, and Celsia instant freezes it. And they're trying to get the senator to safety. In the meantime, while Celsia and Diana start to fight, Steve turns around to realize that she's damaged the roof and it's starting to fall. And Diana is holding it up, but she don't know for how long. So she's telling Steve that you gotta clear these people. Well, Fletcher is back, and he's got a gun at this point, and he's firing it at Celsia, and it's doing him no good at all. And I'm sorry, that wasn't the senator. That was Don Decker. And she's like, well, what do you want with me? And she's like, I don't want much, just your life. He's like, I'm a wealthy man. I could pay you whatever you want. She's like, I don't want your money. I want your blood. And Wonder Woman jumps in again to say that we've all had quite enough of this. And she pushes him with a blast, and he starts flying out the window. So Diana has to jump out the window, go after him, and catch him, and eventually saves him from splatting on the ground. And Diana says, well, she emits a lot of radiation, so that will be an easy way to track her. So they start to track her. In the meantime, there's some missiles that also kind of have the same idea as well. So Celsia is on the flee, and she's taken a hostage with her. She's ready to kill this guy, the senator, I believe. She talks about how he's so bathed in corruption. He's guilty of so many crimes, he doesn't even know which one that he's being tried for. And she's like, I'll give you a chance that I don't give most people. Do you want to die via fire, or do you want to die via ice? When all of a sudden, Diana arrives and saves him. And Celsia and Wonder Woman start to engage in battle once again. And she's like, if he's guilty of a crime, justice, will be served. And then all of a sudden, we see the arrival of the Atomic Knights, which is a personal security system that the senator has for himself. And they've shown up to try to protect him right now. And they realize all of a sudden, he's given the order that both these women must be killed. And they're like, but one of them's Wonder Woman, and they know Wonder Woman to have such a great reputation. He's like, I don't care. Go ahead about it now. This is what you're being paid for. And they're still second guessing it as they start attacking. They don't have any problem. I'm sorry, if you want to get into the next one.
Yep.
They have no problem attacking Wonder Woman, attacking Celsia, but attacking Wonder Woman's kind of a different story for them.
All right.
All right. So the battle's going on with the Atomic Knights. Like I said, they have no problem attacking Atomia. But it's Wonder Woman that, they've been given the order to do. And that's kind of a problem. So Celsia, she ends up freezing the bottom part of the senator as he tries to escape. And Wonder Woman uses that, and she swings him around to stop the Atomic Knights a little bit. So that was a little more violence than I'm used to Wonder Woman showing off. And she tells him to behave, and she doesn't take kindly to men shooting at her. And her solution is essentially to disarm them and snap the weapons off of them, which is what she does. So now Celsia is back, and Wonder Woman throws her lasso around Celsia, and this is where we get briefly her origin, that she was just an average girl working in a small town nuclear plant, and her friends, her aunts, her mom, they all work there, just barely making enough to live. She found out information about the power plant and the high-powered cronies, and all they cared about was lining their pockets. And the plant was a time bomb that finally went off. Her family, her friends were dead or poisoned by the radiation, and she thought she'd be joining them, but she changed and became like that. So that's her origin, and Diana knows it's the truth because she's under the lasso. And they said, as for the senator, what's his truth? So Wonder Woman goes to put the lasso around him, and that's when he admits that he and other congressmen on the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, that they were paid off. They knew all about this, and they knew the problems that this could happen, but they didn't really think it would happen, so they kind of turned an eye against it. And Wonder Woman says, well, he's, essentially a greedy politician and arrogant, and he will face his justice. And he's like, no, I won't. Your lasso isn't admissible in court. I'll deny everything. And that's where we find out that Steve has been masquerading and recorded everything. I think he was one of the Atomic Knights, and he has proof to testify with that. And at Celsia, I think I called her Tama earlier, I met Celsia, she realizes that she has a crime to pay for as well, but this time she doesn't mind paying for her crimes because she said she would never hurt an innocent person. She only wanted the killers of her friends and her mothers to pay for what they did. So Diana says they will, and so must you for the damage that you caused. And Steve declares that he saved the video, and Diana asks, what about this nuclear cabal, Steve? And Steve says, I'd say they're in for some surprises. And as we go into the last page, Celsia's rage was understandable, as was her frustration because nothing was being done. These guys end up getting locked up and punished for their crimes, including Celsia. And at least they comment that she takes responsibility for her crimes, where the other ones weren't so much freely to do so. Wonder Woman says that I have never understood mankind's obsession with wealth at the cost of other humans. And then she says something that I just love hearing, that is so timeless, and it's so Wonder Woman. She says, we should help raise up those below us. We should share in whatever bounties we have. Life is not a competition to see who has more. It's a blessing to be enjoyed, shared, and cherished. Steve says, from your mouth to God's, or the God's ears. And she says, Hera, hear me, Steve. Hear. And that's the end.
Hooray!
Yay!
And then, Mr. Tony, you got like a little bit of a short story.
I do. It was a nice little short story here, and that's okay because sometimes a short story is helpful.
But it brings back a fun villain.
Yeah, I love Mr. Well, I won't spoil it.
So we
Mr.
start off
Horner
here.
on Monday. Yeah.
Yes. We start off here with some young lady named Sarah reaching for an amulet, and someone is trying to hurry her along. And we see it's actually a locket with a picture of Solomon Grundy and some unknown woman holding a child. And it's a Halloween party, so that's kind of cool. And Wonder Woman is actually very excited because she doesn't have Halloween at the mascara, obviously. She says the closest thing they have is I don't even know how to say that holiday. Buckalania? I don't know.
And she likes that she can walk around in her costume.
Yeah.
And people just think that she's dressed up.
Yeah, she can dress as she is. No one will bother her. Very cool. Having a great time. And this was a funny part. I could see this in a TV show. So Wonder Woman goes up to the baseball game where you knock down the bottles. And with one throw, not only does she knock down the bottles, but it goes through the other side of the wall. So she got the big stuffed toy that you win at the fair, and she gave it to Steve. But we hear some commotion in the distance, and everybody's saying, "Run! It's trying to kill us." Wonder Woman says, "Who's trying to kill you?" And there it is, Grundy kill. Oh no! Wonder Woman says, "I got to get the civilians out of here." Wonder Woman confronts Grundy. Solomon Grundy will have his justice. And we see Sarah has a big black eye. And it turns out that, we'll get there, but, he makes quick work of Wonder Woman, and he is after the first gentleman we met in the first page. I think his name was Tom. You're a bad man. Grundy will hurt you, kind of thing. Right before he does, Wonder Woman saves the day. She's got her lasso here. She's getting ready to get the truth out of him. Grundy says, "Bad man must pay." Who's the bad man? And Sarah says, he is, referring to the gentleman in red. And Wonder Woman, is, at the time, I would say, domestic violence in the 70s is probably, I don't want to say common, but, happened more frequently than it does probably today. And, a lot of men share the view that, women, they don't listen to you, smack around a little bit. And that's what he says, hey, I hit her because she never listens. I got to teach her a lesson. You need to teach her to pay attention. Clearly, in 2025, this opinion is very, taboo and I don't think very common. But she is able to talk some sense into Grundy, and he says, you're safe now. Grundy goes to sleep. The guy goes to jail. That's pretty cool. Wonder Woman says he's going to stand trial. That you're safe now. No one's going to hurt you anymore, and that she's safe. We cut to Grundy, who's going to sleep. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. And it turns out that long ago, Sarah is a descendant of Mr. Grundy here, and he was just trying to protect her, which is pretty cool. An undead protector, as Steve Trevor said.
Yeah, when her blood hit the locket, that's what triggered him.
Yeah. But yeah, there it is. And now they're going to go get the caramel apples. So that's a quick story from me.
Yeah,
very cool.
Great. So Tony, I asked Dan this, but how familiar are you with the Lynda Carter Wonder Woman TV series?
I've seen some. My generation, when I came along and started watching TV, Lynda Carter's Wonder Woman had been off at that point. Mm-hmm. So I'd catch the reruns on like Nick at Night or something like that. If only on the weekends, if my parents let me stay up, or during the summer when I had pretty much free reign to do whatever I wanted. So I watched a lot of late night TV growing up in small town Iowa. Not much you can do, but I'm not terribly familiar. I haven't seen a whole lot, but obviously I know who it is and I understand the setting and when it's supposed to be taking place. But I like it.
Okay, I thought maybe I'd just impulsively do a little Wonder Woman TV trivia with you guys. So
okay,
you guys can work together as a team or answer individually or however you want to do it. So
put us on the spot.
Yes, and once again, these questions, which literally I'm thinking up right now, are going to be based on the Wonder Woman TV series, not necessarily the comic books, but the TV series. So my first question is, who is Drusilla?
No idea. All you, Dan.
No.
Drusilla is their version of Wonder Girl.
Okay.
And second question, who's the actress that this actress's very first role ever, and she became a much more famous actress later?
No.
That would be Deborah Winger.
Oh, okay, that's great.
And incidentally, for those that have the Heroes and Icons channel, one of the Deborah Winger Drusilla episodes aired this weekend on the channel. So, okay, name me probably the major difference, because Wonder Woman lasted 3 seasons. First season, name me a difference between Wonder Woman season 1 and Wonder Woman season 2 and 3.
Well, in the first season, she fought the Nazis exclusively.
Yes, exactly. First season took place in the 1940s. Yeah. The second and third seasons took place in modern time, the 1970s. So, good job. And let's see if I can come up with one more. Who played Steve Trevor on the
La
Wonder
Wagner.
Woman?
La Wagner.
Yep.
No
Good
idea.
job. Do I have any more? Where did in seasons 2 and 3? Where did Steve and Diana work at? I mentioned it during my story.
I mean, it was CIA,
Federal
some
government.
government facility. Was it CIA?
It was the IADC,
Okay.
the Interagency Defense Council. So good job. All
I mean,
right.
I grew up with those shows somewhat.
Yeah. You did a good job. Signature King, we'll just get you the Blu-rays for Christmas, okay?
Yeah.
Get you all caught up on that. So
I'll take it.
So let's move on to our book show and talk about what's going on our channels and social media. Who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Sure.
Book show. I didn't have any, Lynda Carter Wonder Woman, but I got a lot of Wonder Woman nonetheless. So here's my latest Wonder Woman signature haul. This is part of my big CBCS order that I placed. I sent in like 30 some books, and this was one of them. So I have the Tony Harris Retailer Incentive, signed by Tony Harris and Stephanie Williams. Night Terrors, #1. I think this is the 1 in 25 or 1 in 50, I think. But it's
very nice.
It is nice. I like it. My first time meeting Tony Harris and Stephanie Williams at Baltimore Comic Con. Got them to sign this bad boy. So I'm very happy with it. Coming up on my channel, I have a huge channel update. Massive, very exciting channel update.
So Tony, before you get into that, can you tell me what you think? Can you tell me what you think of those new CBCS slabs?
Love them. Absolutely love them.
They look so good in hand, don't they? They're
do.
better. They're better than they look in pictures. They're really beautiful in hand.
Trying to think if I have an old one nearby. Yeah, here's not that one.
I don't think the old ones look bad necessarily as much as people bombed on them. But I mean,
no. Here's an old one.
The new ones are. I mean, when you see them in person, it's like, oh,
yeah, they're thicker too.
Yeah,
they're beefier, and I'm okay with that. You can't overprotect your books, so I'm very excited for that. I think they look great. So, yeah, huge. I've been teasing it a long time, and I finally have a hard date. So I am officially getting out of this office. I'm upgrading.
Oh, nice!
But your office is awesome. I love your comic room.
I love it too, but there's so much
He wants more of his comic.
Okay,
yeah. There's so much more I want to do, but
and it took him this long to find the red carpeting to expand.
It's like Wonder Woman. It's like Wonder Woman Red. I mean,
yeah. Unfortunately, the red carpet is staying in here. It is not going with me. So, my family member who lives in my basement apartment is moving on. So the wife gave me the okay to take over that space. So this is going to be back into a storage area, which is what it was originally. So my new space is going to like quadruple or more in size. So I'm going to have a lot more space to do things that I want. So I'm excited for it. And I'm going to do if you remember, ComicFoo did his building a mystery box live streams. I want to do something similar to that. So finally, Ryan sent me some beautiful posters. I haven't had a chance to display them. Really, they're in frames, kind of tucked away. But now they're going to go up. I'm going to do cool stuff with that. Very exciting. Very, very cool. That happens mid-June. So we're actually less than 30 days out from that. So,
oh wow.
Yes.
Are you going to do an unveiling, live stream, craziness, or is it going to be safe for fanboys?
Probably going to do a lot on my channel. I think I'll do a fanboys thing once it gets 100%. We can do really cool first fanboys in the new office. So it's going to be exciting. Very happy to have it. Very fortunate for the space they do have, but gosh, I'm looking forward to update. I'm sick. I can touch both walls here if I want. Boom, boom. Yeah, so it's space is limited.
You've done a lot of, I mean, that cool stuff in that space. I've been an admirer of that room for years.
Finally, my spinner rack will have space to spin, because right now it can't spin. It's like called a half rack, because I can't put anything on the other two sides, so they're empty. So that'll be a lot of fun. We'll see. I got some big plans. I'm doing some pricing things out, so I'm really gonna invest in it and make it a really cool space.
You're moving on up like George and Wheezy.
I'm technically moving down, because it is down the stairs.
Okay.
but yeah, technically moving up or down. But okay, it's very exciting. I'm very excited for it.
Cool. Dan, tell us about your socials, anything going on there, and book show for us.
Yeah. I'm Dan Piercy of D Piercy's Comics. At YouTube, if you just put dpiercyscomics.com in a browser, that'll bring up my YouTube channel. Since I'm not working at home anymore, I basically live stream fairly haphazardly, a couple times a month, usually doing a final order cutoff show. Has to be something I'm excited about. Usually, books from week to week these days. It's so crazy. 1 week will be great, and then the next week, or 1 week will be lame, and then the next week I'm spending like $40. So yeah. But I mean, yeah, I mostly just do a live final order cutoff show, and then shorts of cool covers and my weekly pickups. So, and if you want to make me big, I got books here. Yeah. So this is my Lynda Carter.
So
book.
beautiful.
Oh, you got one of those? Okay.
I did. I kind of. I remember when the signing for this, I was like, well, do I just get the foil one they're offering, or what? I really wish I'd sent in my my Wonder Woman 77 #1 book, just cause it would have her likeness on it. But I mean, this is a nice consolation prize.
Yeah.
I remember. This was done through Celebrity Authentics, and I mean, it took a full-on year from the signing to get these books. But whatever, I got it now. And
what was the holdup? Was it CGC?
That's what. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Long
story. But I remember that year, everyone was just like, "Oh my God, CGC is so fast now." And it's like, well, why is this taking
a year to get back?
A year, but whatever. And I mean, I have a ton of Wonder Woman slabs, but I mean, these are some of my favorites. I love this Art Germ.
Yeah, that's great.
70s homage. It's badass. I love it. And then lastly, I've shown this off on shows with you guys before, I think. This sketch from Chadwick Haverland. He is not, I don't think he's on the scene anymore doing stuff like this. But I mean, he's just an incredible photorealistic artist. And he used to have a Black Friday sale, and I sent him a photo of what I wanted, and he was like, "Yeah," and he did this, and it's been in my collection since long. 10 years, 2015.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So, by the way, for Dan's YouTube channel, and I believe the Instagram I put in the description for this video. So if you're not following him or subbed, make sure to please do so. And of course, support everyone.
Appreciate it
as well. So keep building and growing this great comic book community. So currently on my channel is the back issue of the week YouTube short. And that back issue of the week is about Spider-Woman and her first appearance. But tomorrow there'll be a new back issue of the week. And that one will be DC oriented. So look for that dropping tomorrow morning. My current comic book editions video talks about a huge sale that Unknown Comics had, where there are a lot of exclusive covers and some ratios like 1 in 25s and stuff that they were selling for less than original cover price. So I picked up some of those and I show those off in the current video. This upcoming video is about a comic show that I impulsively went to last month. And I spent like $20, and you won't believe what I got for $20. I usually think that you can't get anything that great for $20. I did. So that's what I'm sharing this upcoming week. This is the very first time that I have mentioned this anywhere, but kind of like Tony, I kind of have an idea when this is going to fall into place. So the video that I'm going to be dropping on Tuesday will be Comic Book Editions Volume 239. But for the first time ever, I want to alert you to Comic Book Editions Volume 242, which will be coming out next month. There's an untold story that will be told, and there will be a ghost book shown.
Oh.
So, just saying.
Okay.
So, yeah. And when I say ghost, I don't necessarily mean Casper. So.
We know what you mean.
Yes.
And you have some Ghost Wonder Woman books for sure.
Yeah. Well, get ready to see another one. For a book show, there's two things I want to do. I want to start out with, and I wanted to limit myself to something that's related to the TV show. So how about this one? Nice little 8x10 there.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Signed by both Lyle Wagner and Lynda Carter.
Where'd you get that signed?
That got signed on 2 separate occasions. So,
okay.
And Lyle signed it first, Lynda signed it second. And for the next thing, I am actually going to have to black out my screen for a second because this thing is so huge. I'm going to have to get up and position it to show it to you. I pulled this out of storage this afternoon. And when you see it, you're going to say, what is this even doing in storage? So let's get it ready.
Oh, geez.
I don't know if I have shown this before. I don't know if I ever have. It's been a long time if I ever have shown this. Okay, you guys ready?
Let's see it.
Yep.
Holy moly.
Hold on a sec. We're already dropping stuff. Let me go into full screen.
That's classic.
So this was signed in person by Lynda Carter, and I had her sign it.
So you met her.
That is so cool.
What's
and
the
no,
story
it
behind
should not.
that? Like,
that should not be in storage.
no, I agree.
So, if this gives you, it's sitting on a chair right now, but this thing is huge. I love the frame job on it.
Oh yeah, they did a wonderful job.
This was framed actually from a place in Iowa.
Oh, hooray!
I don't know if you can see the autograph. I know you're getting the old ring light.
No, we can see it. We can see it.
Yeah. What's the story behind it? Like, where did you meet her?
I met her in Chicago, and let me black out the screen again for a second. So let me take out of here. I met her in Chicago, and at that time she was testing the market to see if she wanted to sing, and she did a week show of cabaret style shows in Chicago. I went and got a front row table. I got all dressed up in my suit and my tie, got a front row table, and I had worked every angle possible to see if I could meet her. Like, I called people, I called any and everyone that was associated with the show. And finally, my answer was, we'll see what happens the night of the show. You'll know when you get at the show if you're going to meet her that night or not.
So a definite maybe.
Yeah. So I had about 15 things in the car. I wasn't going to take all 15, But I'm like, I don't know if I do I get this signed or do I get this signed? And I don't want to be greedy. And when I got to the show, I was supposed to check in. And the person said, yes, after the show, you're going to, Lynda said she would say hi to you. And I'm like, yes. So I went out to the car and tried to whittle down between my 15 grails that were in there, what I was going to have her sign. And I ended up with that poster. And actually, it's not even a poster. It's an actual picture printed on Kodak paper and everything, too.
Wild.
And she even asked, she's like, where did you get that at? She's like, I haven't seen it in that size. And I had such an amazing experience meeting her. And she met a handful of people after the show. And right before, as I was waiting for my turn, I flashed in my mind about this time, and I hadn't thought about this in such a long time. I would watch the Wonder Woman TV show as a little kid. I would go into my bedroom and I'd sit down and I would pray with my hands on the bed. I want to meet Lynda Carter. I want to meet Lynda Carter. And here it's about to happen. And I shared that story with her and she hugged me. And there's a photo of it. She started the hug. And I'm like, and she said, Ryan, I really have to thank you. She said, you got all dressed up tonight. You sat in the front row. You smiled at me the entire show. And it made me feel so good while I was singing. So really, I'm the one who has to thank you. And I'm like, oh my God. I didn't do that. But inside, I'm melting like ice cream in the microwave.
It's amazing. Yeah.
So, and I would have another interaction with her later on when she called and sang happy birthday to me. So, but that's a different story. So that is tonight's book show. And we would love for you to share anything you'd like as a book show from home portion. Just use the hashtag Fanboys Live and the retro review. Share a cover or Wonder Woman or Lynda Carter item with us. That would be awesome. So, gentlemen, as we get ready to wrap up tonight's show, anything else anyone wants to share or any memories or anything to promote or anything to talk about?
I don't have any cool Lynda Carter stories. That's for sure. I've met very few celebrities, but no cool experience like that.
No, I just want to thank you guys for having me on. This is always a blast.
Absolutely.
Of course, we'd love to have you back in the future. Dan, you're a great guest. So continued success with your jump roping, and when are we going to see you jump rope with the yellow rope? That's what I'm waiting for.
You know, there is a Wonder Woman jump rope on eBay, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman jump rope. But I mean, they're all ripped to shreds, and they're cost like $200. But I mean, someone's missing a marketing opportunity there. I mean, there should be a gold, yellow jump rope with Wonder Woman logos, insignias, etc. on it.
I agree. And like the edges, they could look like bracelets. That would be cool.
I don't know if you'll ever see me in bracelets, but
okay. The best way to find out is to stay tuned. So Dan from D. Piercy's Comics, thank you so much for being here tonight. We look forward to bringing you the greatest DC comic show on YouTube again next week. If you watched on the rewind and made it all the way to the end, of course, we appreciate you as well. So until the chance we get to visit again, we hope you have a happy, healthy, and successful week. Take care. Good night.